self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com and let truisms help you to the next level.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win a Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He'd guide us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a
I
cold
want to be
day.
a football
I want to be
stadium.
a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Good answer.
Sensation Station Network.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G, with my co-host, Santrell G. We're talking with you today about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick or a side dude? We want you guys to please call in at 678-613-5857 if you have your comments. If you're listening to us on TuneIn, you can text them in at 678-613-5857. If you're listening to us on Facebook, go ahead and type your comment in the comment section, and we'll go ahead and get back with you. I'm really super excited about today's show because I have two of people I've known for over 30 years that are going to be on the show that they're calling in to help me, and that is Audrey Champer and Pastor Andre Tate. You guys on the call?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me. And then I have my good friend here, John. John and I go back a little bit. We met talking trash, playing golf. So it's really, really awesome that they are here. And this subject here is very touchy, and it's very, and I know a lot of people are going to be somewhat emotional about it, but I'm really asking that if you do comment or call in, that you do keep your comments clean, and please respect, appreciate, value everyone. We're talking about now a man's worth and why men cheat. I was doing some research because I just don't want to jump off on just make up stuff, but I found out that a lot of guys go for married women, or because they said it's the availability is not universal, so they don't have to worry about her cheating. Mm-hmm. They don't have to worry about late night calls unexpectedly.
She's safe.
She's safe. Right. She's in that safe zone, and they don't have to do a whole lot. It's just hit or miss, quick and run. Right. But a lot of them also said, when I was doing my research, that they cheat because they're either unhappy, or they don't feel loved or whatever. And I really just don't understand. Why would you?
The women, though, don't.
The men say this is why they cheat or they do things. So my thing is, and Andre, this is for you and for John. I'm going to ask Andre first because, Andre, since you're a pastor, what do you think about that when men say, well, the reason why I cheat is because my wife doesn't show me the same type of love, or I'm unattracted to her anymore, or I want to cheat with a married woman because it's safe. What are your comments on that?
Well, I really think, first of all, when we make a covenant, and a covenant is when we get married. It's not just I'm getting married, but I'm making a covenant not only with the woman that I'm married, but it's also making a covenant with God. So, and the Bible tells us that it talks about love. Love is unconditional, and also the Bible tells us to love our wives like Christ loved the church, which is unconditional. And as any relationship, there's no perfect relationship. You will always have some type of issues, some type of intense fellowship, and it's our job to work through those things, but not take the easy way out as to say, well, I'm going to get me a side chick because, my wife, she's not doing what she's supposed to do. She's not affirming me. She's not recognizing me as being the man of the house, but she's disrespecting me. And I feel like that is a easy way out to just say those particular things. But we have to work through those things, whether it be, okay, we need to go through some type of counseling with someone. We need to communicate more. I need to communicate to you. You're not really affirming me, and I'm feeling a certain way. I'm getting tempted a certain way. We have to be open to each other and have an open relationship in that particular way so we can communicate what's really happening, so we could put those potential fires out. And, that's basically the way I feel about it.
And I agree, because I think it's like a cop-out. They use those excuses as a cop-out. Now, John, you and I have talked about different things, and you shared with me that when you were married before.
My first marriage, right.
You cheated.
Right, and it was an excuse. So I believe in that 80-20 rule. 80% is going to be good, to 20% is going to be challenging, right? And then sometimes men take that 20% and run with it because I'm not getting this at home, or the physical attraction is not there. Then you look for that 20% outside of the home. It's all physical, right?
Yeah.
And it's an excuse, right? Instead of, like he said, instead of working on that 20%, which is always going to be some sort of challenge, you take the excuse and then take the easy way out. Well, here's this individual who now is giving me attention, and she look good, right?
Yeah.
And so the physicality becomes more than the emotional and mental in my case.
Right.
And it was just an excuse because I wasn't getting what I thought at home. Guess what? If I wasn't getting what I thought at home, I should have been talking to her about what it was that I thought I was missing. And in reality, I wasn't missing anything.
Because...
and I can say it was based on immaturity.
Okay, I can see that too. Because, and Andre, this question is directed to you, because I hear a lot of men do this, because I've been, lately in my inbox, I get a lot of people asking me, hey, do you feel like being a side chick? And they give me this long drawn out story as to, my wife ain't doing this, la, la, la. Okay, but my thing is, I had mentioned to someone in there, it's like, why are you even married? If you're going to cheat and you want a side chick, why are you married? And his response to me was, all I have to do is repent, and it's okay. So, right, coming from a religious standpoint, and I know we have some people out there that don't believe in higher powers or things like that. There's still... I'm just talking to my Christian listeners now, but we'll circle back around for those that don't believe in a higher power. But Andre, what do you say about that? That they just say, hey, well, all I have to do is repent and I'm good.
Well, the Bible tells us that, God is not mocked. And one of the things that means is, he knows for sure how your heart is. If your heart is really for having a relationship with him and doing the right thing. And so, that's another thing, like my brother said, that's a cop-out. That's making excuses. And, we said, well, God is he's very gracious, and all I have to do is repent. But the danger about that is The dangerous thing about that is the Bible says he will give you over to a reprobate mind, which means that particular...
Hold on to that thought, because I want you to go more into the reprobated mind. You guys don't go anywhere. We're coming back. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live.
Everybody successful lays a blueprint out. You laid the blueprint out. I stayed true to my dreams, and by doing that, eventually it came true.
A lot of times, it's like in life, right? Life brings like drama, and you got to deal with this person, and then funky relationship here, and all these things. You try and just kind of balance them out as best I can.
Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do.
Unleash your beast. Write your history.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Connected than ever before. 90% of America's students use some form of social media, but not all of it's used in a good way. Hurtful posts online are leading to social isolation for many. Psychologists say it's bullying in a brand new way. Well, beyond differences in I Keep Safe are looking to change that with ideas for students, their parents, and even teachers. Take the pledge to be kind online and learn more at wearekindonline.com.
Great leaders aren't born, they're made. And not just anywhere. They're made in special places by special qualified trainers in places like the Academy of Creative Coaching. The Academy of Creative Coaching is an international certification program with courses in health and wellness coaching, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and cultural competency coaching. Courses are online, hybrid, or face-to-face. The Academy of Creative Coaching is empowering coaches to empower the world. Make a positive change in yourself and the world. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. Today we're talking about the sanctity of marriage. Where did it go? What happened to it? We're talking about, is it okay to be a side chick or a side dude? If you guys are listening to us on Facebook, go ahead and log into the Facebook page, Sensation Station Network Facebook page. You can type your comments in the comment section, and we'll be able to answer your questions or put your comments out there. If you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio, or you just want to call in or text your call, it's your comments at 678-613-5857. Just before the break, we were talking about, I asked Pastor Tate to answer a question about some guys saying that even if they cheat, God will forgive them, and that's how they cop out and go out of it. And he was talking about not mocking God and possibly turning into a reprobated mind. So, Andre, can you expound more a little bit on that for me, please?
Okay, yes. God definitely, you go to him, he definitely can. You repent, he can definitely forgive you. But the dangerous part about that, as you continue to do things that not in his will, he said, I will give you over to a reprobate mind. That particular thing that you continue to get into, such as I continue to cheat, and it gets to a point where I have those I can't help it now because my mind has been given over to that, because God has lifted his hands off of that particular situation in your life, because you're not being real, you're not being authentic, you're being a phony, and you're not being serious. And, no matter what a person may be struggling with in their life, God is there to help them, to get them out. I struggle with a lot of things in my life. I struggle with pornography. But the thing is, and I kept getting into it, getting out of it. And I asked God, I really need you to help me out. I really need you to help me. And I was serious about him helping me out. And he started telling me certain things to do and not to do. Like certain particular shows. He said, don't watch those shows because that's going to trigger something.
Right.
And I had to stop watching those shows. For other people, the shows may have been okay for them to watch it. But where I was in my life at that particular time,
right,
I could not watch those shows. And see, and to get a little deeper into all this, we have what we call our conscious and subconscious mind. And a lot of things get into our subconscious mind, a lot of toxic things that get in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind pretty much rules 87% of the things that we do. And a lot of us don't believe that, but it does.
Right.
So as you continue to put in toxic things, I call them necrosis, death, things from the inside out, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to, whatever's on the inside is going to come out. Everything that I focus on the inside is going to come out. So if I continue to focus on those particular things, and God's telling me, think on things good, think on things pure, think on these particular things. And if I be obedient to Him and think on those things, then I started the process of coming out. And a lot of times we believe that if I just say, God help me, and He's just going to wave a magic wand, and I'm going to come out right away.
Well,
but a lot of times go ahead.
Let me ask you this, because, you said something about, it being in your subconscious, and you're not, you were asking God, I really, really want to help you. Now, let me ask you about, and I know it's going to take you out of your element, but I know you used to do work before you became a pastor, doing a lot of other things with people who don't have faith, who don't believe in God, and don't know how to come out of these things. What things would you offer them? Because I really don't see it too different. You know what I mean? They don't have to believe in God, but it doesn't excuse that behavior. So what would you say to those people that don't believe?
It's temporary enjoyment, right? It's temporary enjoyment, and it doesn't last long term.
Right.
Right? So it's a temporary satisfaction of something in your mind, and you said, I'm going to fulfill this. But long term, it's not going to work. And even long term, it's going to cause other people problems as well, right?
What you agree with that, Andre?
Yeah, I totally agree with it. I teach a life skill class at the jail, and a lot of times we focus on the fruit and not the root. And the root of a lot of problems is it starts off with our environment. It starts off with it starts with the things that we surround ourselves around, and that determines whether it's going to raise or lower our standards. And I give them an example. You have like different TV shows, reality shows, you have music, you have friends, you have your parents. All of these things help shape our paradigm. It helps shape our perception. And you look at a lot of the shows today, the reality shows, it highlights infidelity.
Right, it does. So, you're so right.
Right. And then with the thing about it, it dulls our senses. So we have this thing it's called the subliminal imagery or the subliminal message, and that's the thing that it picks up on our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is thought, and it slowly works into our brain.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that. We don't understand that.
Right.
But these subliminal messages is best retained by when it's a lot of repetition exposure.
Okay.
And a lot of advertisers. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that there's websites now for infidelity, right? And if you are looking to get into a short-term relationship with people, there's a website now that, and I forget the name of the website, but like he was saying, it's what we put into our minds.
Right.
You know how we talk about young kids getting inundated because of this rap music or what they see on TV?
Right.
It's the same thing with being infidelity. Sometimes people promote it like it's okay.
Yeah, they wear it like it's a new outfit. Yeah. And Audrey, I know you're on the line, and we're going to bring you in too because I want you to get a part of this conversation because I know you have a story, and I want to wait really to the women's worth, so the super women, because I want you to explain, because a lot of people don't understand how men and women get trapped up in this game, and like I said, I don't judge anybody. Everybody has their vices and that they got to work through, but looking from your side of the table, when married men approach you and to want to be their side woman or to be attracted to them, what is it about that is excitement for you?
Well, it started for me from childhood.
Okay.
It started for me from childhood. I was raped and molested for many years of my life.
Oh, wow.
By my stepfather. Pretty much, I was groomed into being a whore.
Wow.
Yeah, my father would basically kind of sell me off. You know, he used to make me say that I was nothing but a whore and that's all I was ever going to be. I mean, he used to beat me, you know, all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of what I left home. When I left the abuse at my house, that is what I carried with me.
Oh.
You know,
Okay.
I carried those behaviors. I carried those attributes from what was planted in me as a child, as a kid.
Okay, well, hold on to that because I want you to go deeper in that in a second. And then, Andre, we're going to circle back around with you on some questions on that. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Hi, I'm Viola Davis. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger? Growing up, I was one of those kids, but we can solve this. When we make breakfast happen for kids in our neighborhood, we have the power to end childhood hunger, create bigger, brighter school days, and healthier minds and bodies. Go to hungeris.org and lend your time or your voice.
We're hungry for more.
A message from the Albertsons Companies Foundation and the Entertainment Industry Foundation.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you're looking for that ratchet, you're in the wrong place. It's the nation's urban internet station, Sensation Station Network.
Up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. We're talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick or a side dude? And my telephone call-in guests are Audrey Champer and Pastor Andre Tate from Florida, and then I have John Reid in the house. And we were talking just before the break with Audrey about why she was into being the side chick and it was okay. But before I get her back on the call, if you are listening to us on Facebook and you have a comment or you want to talk about something, put it in the comment section and we'll go ahead and answer that for you. And you can do that by going into the Facebook Live Sensation Station Network Facebook page. If you're listening to us on TuneIn or you just want to call in and text your comment, 678-613-5857. Now, just before the break, Audrey, I really wasn't ready for that. And I have to tell you, no, it's okay because you know what? I've known you for a very long time, you know, and we are like family. You're like a sister to me, and I didn't really understand the magnitude and I really appreciate you coming and talking on the show because you and I have been having this conversation for a few months and I told you, I said, I just really got to understand why it's so important and where it came from. Now, that's deep. That's what you were groomed to be, and that's the stuff. And we talk about this, Audrey, on our show, how that the old saying, you guys know what we grew up with, what happens in this house stays in this house, and we're trying to expose that. But now I kind of understand some of the stuff as we were growing up. And you said your stepfather groomed you into that and would sell you out. But where was your mama?
Well, my mom, she was there. But see, it also goes into the upbringing of my mother. See, what people have to understand is that the family is a system.
Okay.
And in the system, there are subsystems. So if the subsystems are not properly thinking right and doing what they're supposed to do, then it's going to affect the whole system of the family.
You're right.
With my mom, yeah, and it also comes from, like Pastor Andre said, like environment as well. Well, my mom, they were from the 50s, so we were from Mississippi, down in the Delta. My grandma was picking cotton. My mama was picking cotton. My mother had to stop school when she was like in the 8th grade to help pick cotton. So therefore, my mother never gained an education. So, of course, when my father, came from the Army, he was the one with the education and all of that stuff. So he kind of rescued my mom, out of that life. So when my mother came here and we came to Florida, my dad was everything. He was the leader. So whatever daddy says, how people say if the wife isn't happy, happy wife, happy life. Well, in our house, it was if my father was not happy, then everybody caught it.
Everybody caught it.
And she makes a valuable point. One of the valuable points she's making right now is that environment can also shape who you are.
Right.
Right. So if you brought up in an environment which is dysfunctional, infidelity is rampant.
Right.
Brothers and uncles and grandfather, they all doing it. Then that's what you see.
Exactly.
So you grew up knowing that it may not be right, but that's what you know.
But that's what it is.
Right.
That's what it is.
So, Santrell, you're sitting over there kind of quiet and looking like a deer with headlights. I just want to know what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Talk to us.
It really isn't a shock. When we were talking about this show, it can easily be that this subject is a lightning rod for people because it's that how dare you. But what was constantly running through my mind as Audrey was talking is something that I learned from my father very early on, is that in order to understand why someone does what they do, you have to understand their background.
Right.
Because even though, as Audrey, and I like how you put that, Audrey, when you talk about the overall system, but also the subsystems, I would not be surprised if you told me that in addition, that your mother may have gone through some things. That is what she said. We're talking about generational abuse.
Right.
And for you, even though you knew that thing that was going on was not correct, it was normal to you. And you may have vowed in your mind growing up that you would never do this, that when I leave, I'm not going to do this, but that is what was normal to you.
Right.
So it's really that we have to be very mindful of, because of, as Pastor Andre said, the things that we put into our subconscious. I do absolutely believe whether you believe in a higher power, whatever your belief system is, those are the things that impact our intention.
We got a comment from one of our listeners, Sharon Gilbert. She said, I love the transparency after the fact. The transparency needs to be between the spouses before the damage can occur. And then when I come back, I'm going to read another comment that she put out that, and so I can keep you guys in the loop. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Sensation Station Network. Radio to Atlanta.
Great leaders aren't born. They're made, and not just anywhere. They're made in special places by special qualified trainers in places like the Academy of Creative Coaching. The Academy of Creative Coaching is an international certification program with courses in health and wellness coaching, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and cultural competency coaching. Courses are online, hybrid, or face-to-face. The Academy of Creative Coaching is empowering coaches to empower the world. Make a positive change in yourself and the world. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults have unique determination and experience, an ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. We're talking to you today about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick or a side dude? And my guests that are called in from Florida is Audrey Champer and Pastor Andre Tate, and I got John Reid in the house. This subject is really, really tough, and some very enlightening things have transpired in the last few minutes. And I also want to say, if you are listening to us on Facebook, go ahead and type your comments in the comment section, and we'll read it out. If you're wanting to call in or text the comment, 678-613-5857, if you're listening to us on TuneIn. Now, one of our listeners, Sharon Gilbert, said, although it happens, no one should be a side chick or a side champ. Respect God, yourself, and the sanctity of marriage. If you are not mature enough to settle down and marry, then stay single. And I totally agree with that. And Audrey, like I said, that is hard to even swallow, a pill to swallow. But the sad thing is, it's a reality. Now, Andre, I have a question for you, for Audrey. Seeing that, there's a lot of women that are in this situation, and I can understand, I understand now why a side chick thing was not a problem to you, because it was what you were accustomed or groomed to do. So, Andre, what kind of advice or something would you give to a woman who has been through the kind of things that Audrey has had, to be able to, come out of it, put past that stuff that hurt, and start the healing process?
What? You said Andre or Audrey?
Andre, and then Audrey, I'll let you come back in.
Okay, well, one of the things that I have to backtrack, that one of the things that God dealt with me, we're so easy, like we on a no judgment zone station. But one of the things that you see somebody and they act a certain way, and you said, oh, man, they're crazy. But God invited me and said, instead of calling these people crazy, go behind the scenes to see exactly what they're going through.
Right.
And I have a friend that is a model in Los Angeles, and she went through that. And like Audrey was saying, it was her mother just kept calling her different names, told her that she's a prostitute, and like she developed early, and so her mother boyfriends would come over. They would come over and they start flirting with her, with the daughter, and the mother blamed the daughter instead of the boyfriend. And what the mother kept speaking over her daughter, that's what she became.
Wow.
And
Audrey, was that kind of like for you? Was that the same kind of way, what he's describing about this model in Cali, right? Was that kind of like what it was for you, Audrey?
Yes, it was exactly that way. It was exactly that way. Once a child is programmed, once a person is programmed, it's just like how I heard you guys talking about, the music that you listen to. If you listen to something every single day, even if you don't like it, but repetition will cause it to form inside of you.
Right.
And that is exactly what happened with me. But one day, because I was on drugs. I was just trying to, just not deal with the pain of that.
Yeah, numb the pain.
Yeah, I was numbing the pain for many, many years. And mind you, I wasn't able to be free from that until I was 32 years old.
Wow.
So my father did that to me when I was, up until I was 32 years old. I'll say I allowed him to do that.
Right.
Until I was 32. And one day I looked up in the sky and I just said, God, you got to help me, because I don't want to die like this. And even though I was spiritually dead, I was just in the earth, not knowing purpose, not knowing anything at all. And the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me, and the first thing it said was, I needed to stop my stepfather from doing that to me. And when I tell y'all, that was the hardest thing that I ever had to do.
Oh, well,
because it had been happening so long.
I can understand. Wow. I totally understand, because, we wear masks. If you guys think about it, we all, Centrell, I love this phrase that she used, we walk around like dressed up garbage cans. Yeah. And the thing that gets me is these guys see you on Facebook, and these girls see you on Facebook. Right. They see pictures, and then all of a sudden, I think I want to be with you. You don't know anything about me. I could be a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you all up in my inbox wanting to know who I am. Right. And I don't know.
It's the same for men, too.
Okay, I was going to say, John, because...
I told you a story earlier. There's a couple of people in my inbox who are actually married.
Wow.
Now, I won't cross that line, because I know I don't want anybody to mess with, my future wife. Yeah. But there are individuals and women who are in the inbox too because they're not getting something at home, right? And then, but check this out though. There are guys that prey on that though.
Right.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
And that's the easy way to do it because there's no commitment. Like you talked about in your first marriage, it was just physical and stuff. There was no emotional attachment or anything like that. It was that hit it and get it.
Right.
Yeah, but and then they say that you don't have feelings. You don't, and that's not true.
Right.
You do develop feelings when you're going through this nonsense. But guys, don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Hi, I'm Viola Davis. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger? Growing up, I was one of those kids, but we can solve this. When we make breakfast happen for kids in our neighborhood, we have the power to end childhood hunger, create bigger, brighter school days, and healthier minds and bodies. Go to hungeris.org and lend your time or your voice.
We're hungry for more.
A message from the Albertsons Companies Foundation and the Entertainment Industry Foundation.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to save.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Viola Davis. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger? Growing up, I was one of those kids, but we can solve this. When we make breakfast happen for kids in our neighborhood, we have the power to end childhood hunger, create bigger, brighter school days, and healthier minds and bodies. Go to hungeris.org and lend your time or your voice.
We're hungry for more.
A message from the Albertsons Companies Foundation and the Entertainment Industry Foundation.
And so a new American industry has been born.
Sensation Station Network.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. We are talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick and a side dude? My guests today are Audrey Champer and Pastor Andre Tate out of Florida and John Reid. This discussion has been totally awesome, and we've been talking about what happens with men, with women, and I really appreciate my guests and the people that are commenting in on Facebook. If you want to comment, please write it in the comment section and we'll read it on the air. If you want to call in or text and have questions for our guests, it's 678-613-5857. Guys, I want to read two of our listeners that are listening on Facebook. They made a comment. Sharon Gilbert says, I guess I'm an exception. I do not do to others what I don't want done to me. Remember, what's done in the dark will come in the light. It could be revealed instantly or over time. The repercussions for all parties involved, in my opinion, aren't worth that sneaky sacrifice. Use the sneaky energy to spend on your spouse. Selah. And I really do believe that. And then Althea Preston says, I believe that we should keep the marriage bed pure. There are so many spiritual, mental, and physical ramifications that this type of behavior causes. The long-term effects, generational effects, is utterly destructive to society, and yet it's normalized to the point that we brag about being side chicks, etc. And she said, be blessed. And you know what? You're right. And
I think, you know what I think? Also, with that point, is that you think you won't get caught.
Right.
You know,
That's
little
the whole
short term,
thing.
you're like, listen, I'm going to do this a couple times and then just get out of it, in it, and quit. You think you can't get caught, but everything does eventually come out.
Now, this question I'm asked Andre, and then Audrey, I want you to answer the same question too. So we're talking now about the effects of family. You know, when all of this stuff happens, you know, I know friends who were side dudes, who had side chicks. Unfortunately, one of them isn't breathing now because the side chick took him and her out because she felt like if I can't have you, ain't nobody gonna have you. Andre, I know you, and I know you can't say what your parishioners or people who come to you, because that's between the pastor and the client, but someone has come to you, what are the effects that you see that happens to some of the families because of this behavior?
Well, most of the part, the families are destroyed. One of the things that I may ask the person, the dangers of being a side chick or side dude. You end up falling in love with the person. That could be one. You may get pregnant, or that person, the guy may get the girl pregnant, or the really serious thing, they're all serious. The spouse may hurt you, or they may kill you.
Right.
And a lot of things, if the people have kids, it destroys the family. It destroys the family, and I just got to back up. And everybody have their opinion. However, you don't know until you're in that particular situation.
Right.
You can't say I would never do this.
Exactly.
I would never do that. Unless you was put in that situation, unless you've been exactly through what Audrey been through, my friend been through, because it takes time. Because everything begins with a thought, and our actions are best interpreted by our thoughts.
Right.
And so our actions are interpreted by our thoughts, and so it takes time. And when I deal with a person or talk to a person that's going through a particular situation like that or been abused, it's not an overnight thing. It's something that they have to continue to get counsel, continue to have people hold them accountable, people that's going to affirm them and love them and not judge them, but they're going to affirm them and work with them.
Right.
And
Audrey, hold that for
Okay.
me, because we're getting ready to go to a break. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Good answer. Sensation Station Network. JBT 700 Miami Circle 30324. It's not a chain, it's a chain reaction.
Invest $49 a month at a real gym.
For more info, go to facebook.com/Jeans Body Tech.
From the University of Alabama, the Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl, then prison. The remarkable story of Sherman Williams that you must read to believe. Crimson Cowboy, Peace Between the Lines, is the incredible journey of an NFL star continue road to redemption. You must get this book now at crimsoncowboy.com. crimsoncowboy.com.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. We are talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick and a side dude? And my guests today are Audrey Champer and Pastor Andre Tate out of Orlando, Florida, and my good friend here, John. Guys, this has been really, I appreciate everybody, your comments that you're texting in, and you're engaged in this, because this is something we really got to get a handle on. And again, if you guys are listening to us on Facebook, go ahead and type your comment in the comment section and we'll get it on air. If you want to call in or text, 678-613-5857. Andre, you were talking about how even though you're talking to these families and how it affects the person that's in it, how it affects the families, and they have to get counseling because it's not something that's going to go overnight. How receptive are those? And then once you answer that, then I want to go to Audrey to get her opinion on the destruction of family. Go ahead.
Well, you have majority of people, because they really care about their relationship, a majority would go ahead and get counseling. But then you have that few, based on, the seeds that have been planted in them, they already have their preconceived ideas of what's going to happen, or they look back at how my parents were and what happened to my parents. They basically give up.
Right.
But majority of them, they go ahead and go through counsel. But the key thing is to continue and finish, because a lot of times we think that we're okay, but there are layers and layers and layers and layers of things that need to be taken away from us.
Right. That's true.
And they think the first layer is gone, so they think they're okay.
Yeah.
And then they end up going back doing the same thing.
Yeah. Now, Audrey, with you and because your whole family dynamic is just, it's sad. It's a sad reality. And I totally get it. Trust me, I get it. I totally understand it. So when you were going through those situations and you were the side chick or you were in that type of relationship, did you ever think about what it would do to the family or your family, or you just didn't think on it?
I didn't think about it.
Okay.
I didn't think about it. When I was dealing with married men, in my own mind, I didn't owe anybody anything.
Right.
Because in my mind, I wasn't going to him; he was coming to me.
Right.
So for me, and you heard that saying where they say that the side chick must know her place.
Right.
See, I knew mine. I grew to know mine. I grew to know my place.
Right.
I wasn't looking for a relationship with him.
Okay.
I wasn't looking to know who his wife was. I wasn't looking to know anything. The only thing that I was looking to know was the Benjamin Franklin and the dollar.
Because
for the guys.
And I'm not saying it to say that that's a great thing that I was doing because at this point I don't do that anymore.
Right, but that is what you knew at that time. That's what you knew.
Exactly.
You were only doing what you knew.
That's what I knew.
Right.
Because when I left, you see, and I explain this to dads all the time about their daughters. Don't give your daughter every single thing that she asks for.
No.
Don't spoil your daughter because some of these relationships that I see with these fathers and the daughters, they have crossed the line.
Right.
Because now your daughter is your little girlfriend.
Right.
That's where
yes.
Exactly.
And the expectations
when the daughter comes up and she goes. When the daughter comes out and goes into the world, when she goes to college and all of that,
she's not gonna have it.
She's gonna revert right back to that.
Right.
And then from the guy's
she is
perspective,
that's exactly what happened.
Right. And what
was that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the guys that she was messing with, it was safe, it was easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to work for something, right?
Right.
And they knew that if they went to her, they didn't have to work, and they weren't going to mess with their relationship at home.
And I would imagine, Audrey.
No, they had to work. No, they had to work. Because you were not just going to come to me. You weren't going to come over here to me because I lived in the projects and you lived good with your wife. No, we wasn't going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We were not going to do that because you were going to pay me. I was going to live good and drive good and do all of those things too.
Well,
my thing is that, just because I'm doing this, it does not make me less than a woman.
Right.
And you're going to treat me right.
Right.
That was just the bottom line of it.
And Audrey, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this too, is, from the situation that you came from, love was not something that you even knew what it was. There was no understanding of someone showing you true love. So for you, it wasn't about that at all.
No, it wasn't about that.
It wasn't, yeah. It wasn't about love.
And
so
it
wasn't about love.
We have a young lady that, she wrote in, Sharon Gilbert. She said, I was cheated on in my marriage. It hurt like hell. You wonder why, where did I fall short, etc. The trust is gone. When he leaves the house, your thoughts are, who is he going to see? Is he going to cheat on me again? Is it the same person? Are there several people? I felt less than and eventually angry. And then she said, you suffer and your children suffer. I had to deal with the side chick calling me at my home and at work. Even her husband was harassing me, telling me to control my spouse. I lived in fear for me and my children. I couldn't control his actions, but his action hurt us all. And you know what? I have to, Sharon, thank you for saying that, because Audrey, you and I have talked offline, and like I said, we all have things in our past that aren't that great. Now, I'm not far removed from the side chick scene, because I was a side chick at one point. And just like you, Audrey, I wasn't looking to be his boo. I wasn't trying to do that. I became the side chick because I was mad because I got cheated on, and I thought I was going to hurt this person back, but the only people that suffered was that man's wife and those children. Now he don't have any relationship with his children. I mean, this was years ago in my 20s, but still.
Right.
And I had the same situation.
But can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we go back to where I'm not sure who said it, but they said that we must keep the marriage bed pure.
Right.
See, the marriage bed has to be pure from the beginning.
Right.
And when I say the beginning is when the man and the woman come before God and get married.
Right.
Okay, what I'm talking about now is the spirit that both people carry. If you marry a man, and that's why it's so important before you marry somebody, ask those tough questions. Was your daddy a whore? conquer one? Was it drugs? What? Ask all those kinds of questions.
We say that all the time.
If you marry someone if you marry a man who has a whoremonger spirit, your marriage bed ain't pure from the beginning because he's never dealt with that.
Right.
So trust and believe. That's what's going to happen in the relationship. If a man marries a woman who was molested as a child and this and that, if a man marries a woman like me, if a man marries a woman like me,
they're gonna have issues.
And I've never dealt with all of the stuff that has been in my history.
Right.
Then
you're gonna have problems.
He got some trouble on his hands.
Yeah, Andre, hold on, Audrey, because I want Andre to chime in. But Andre, before you do, John, what were you going to say on that?
I was going to say, and conversely though, like for instance, I was 24 when I got married, and I didn't. My parents were together until they both died, and so for me, it was new. It was brand new, and I went to college, married, and then got my MBA, and then I had all this free time on my hands afterwards, and this free time, then I'm looking at people around me and at work, and they're cheating, and I'm like, And then I thought I would just be short term and I can get away with it, but no, it ended up being like a year-long affair, if you will. But it affected my family. My wife took me back, and she forgave me, but she never forgot.
Right.
So it affected the whole family after that, and we were married for 20 years.
Wow.
And I knew her for 5 years before that. But the marriage wasn't the same because of the mistake that I made, and I saw the effect that it had on my kids, on her, and it was always a doubt in her mind.
Right.
And so that's when I vowed, after I saw how it just devastated all of us, that the next relationship or marriage that I got into, I wasn't going to do that.
Right. Now, Andre, let me ask you this, because she said something that was really deep that I think we need to expound on a little bit more. She said if the man or the woman aren't pure before you say I do, you're going to have issues. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree with what she's saying, because that's the purpose of going to counseling before you get married, so we can bring out all of these issues that you had with the past. And one of the things with me being transparent, when I got married, I've been with several other different women. When I got married, my wife wasn't with anybody; she was a virgin, so I compared my wife with other women.
Oh, wow.
I started bringing that into the relationship, and I had to get help fast, and I knew I needed help because this was a major problem for me, because I would imagine my wife would be somebody else that I used to be with because they did this, they did that.
Wow.
And I'm trying to rebuild that particular past in my life. So what Audrey is saying is so true. And even get to, like she was saying, different spirits are passed on, and it is so true. It's like when you sleep with somebody else and you bring that into a relationship, you don't get help with that.
Right.
Bringing all of that into the relationship, into the marriage bed and everything.
I do believe, right. You're right, because I do believe that spirits are transferable. And when you talk things into someone's life or speak it into existence, then it becomes that. Because, Andre, you and I have talked, and you know a little bit of my story. Audrey, we all grew up together, I was that way. It took me a minute to realize what a relationship was. I tell people all the time, I didn't even know what love was until I had my daughter. My oldest daughter is who taught me what love was. Who was it to care for somebody? Now, my parents, my parents did the best what they could do with 9 children. There was 9 of us. I mean, and all of us have 9 different personalities, and we all straight crazy sometimes. And I don't know how they did it. I really don't. But the thing is, I had to, like Audrey said, come to grips with some things that happened to me in the past in order to move on. You guys don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to finish this conversation. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Deliberate dumbing down society.
Deliberate dumbing down of America.
Dumbing down public. Why would they do this? Sensation Station Network. Radio, not dumbed down.
You cannot let a fear of failure, or a fear of comparison, or a fear of judgment stop you from doing what it is you do.
Let's talk about destiny. Destiny Talk.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G, and my co-host, Santrell. We are talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick and side dude? My guests today are Pastor Andre Tate and Audrey Champer out of Orlando, Florida, and John Reid. And you guys, this conversation has been great, delightful, and deep. And if you want to get into the conversation, go ahead and type your comments in the comment section, and we'll read them out online. And if you want to call in or text, it's 678-613-5857. You know, we talk about a man's worth, super women, family ties, and now we're going to come back around to the men. And I want to give you guys some statistics that I found out there. And then I want to get each of you your opinions, and let's keep it at a minute because it's like, you know, each of us. So they said that's, and I got this from, let me tell you where my, it's Psychology Today, and it says 26 surprising statistics on cheating spouses, okay? They said the percentage of affairs begin at work are 60%. 60% of cheating starts at work. 60%, up to 60% of all spouses take part in some form of infidelity at least once during their marriage, and 56% of men who have affairs claims to be happy in their marriage. Now that's where I'm gonna stop, because I need Andre and John. Y'all sit back, because I'm gonna get Audrey's 1 minute thought on that, and then Santrell's, and then y'all on the hot seat right now.
All right.
So Andre, we got this statistic that says 56% of men who have affairs claim to be happy in their marriages. Real quick, what is your thought on that?
You said Andre or
Audrey. I'm going to get Andre later. I want Audrey.
Oh, okay. I say that when that part where they say about them being happy, that's not true. From my experience, all the married men that came to me, they always came with this garbage about how she wasn't doing this and how she wasn't doing that and all of that.
Okay.
And my thing to them is that you're doing this because this is what you have an issue with. Your wife has nothing to do with that.
All right, so Santrell, what's your thought?
You know what, I absolutely agree. It has nothing to do with his wife. And I'm not saying that there may not be issues in the relationship, but it's so easy to put the responsibility on somebody else instead of checking yourself and doing the work that you need to deal with yourself. So I think that's really where it lies, is get to the root of it in yourself.
Okay, so, all right, which one of you guys want to go first with that? Andre or John? Which one?
I can go.
John.
He wants to be last. He don't want to be in the hot seat. It's hot. It's hot up in here. So I'm going to go by my personal experience.
Okay.
And I was happy. But the one thing that I didn't like, my wife at the time was Jamaican and went home for the whole summer. So we had just gotten married. I got my MBA, and then she went home for the whole summer. Now, my mom said, you don't leave a black man by himself during the summertime, right? And so that was my excuse. She wasn't around, right, during the summertime. So I went out, saw what I saw, and then that's when it started.
But
I was happy. Other than her going home to
that's truly not happy, though.
That's it.
Right, but it wasn't enough. I mean, it was an excuse for me, because really, if I was right spiritually or morally, I still wouldn't have done it, right?
Morally.
Right? And I wouldn't have done it, because that's not how I was raised. But it was my excuse to say, okay, well, she ain't home, that means I'm going to go out and cheat.
And when you need an excuse, anyone will do.
Anyone will do.
So I go back to my 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I was happy. The other 20%, I use that as my excuse to cheat when I was in my 20s. But I was immature.
So Andre, because you deferred it to him first, let's go.
Well, I think that you can be happy in a marriage. One of the things that I focus on is you need to, I mean, I'm a man that men are, let's say, physical. They like what they see.
Okay.
So I can like what I see, but I have to be careful. I have to put parameters up in my life to not go that extra mile.
Right.
I'm at the point where, I don't trust myself, so I don't put myself in certain situations.
Exactly.
A lot of times when I step in situations thinking that I'm strong enough, I can do this, I got this under control, and I don't, and you don't.
Yeah.
That's my personal feelings about it. I love my wife. I was in a situation, a girl on the job. We developed soul ties because I made a comment to her, said her hair looked nice, And she said, I'm glad somebody thinks so because my husband don't. And out of the purity of my heart, I said, I'm going to, try to encourage her every time I see her. If I see something nice on her, and I did. And then I started developing a soul tie. It's like we started going to lunch together, which was innocent.
Yeah, work wife.
But it's like,
hold that thought, Mr. Work Wife. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Great leaders aren't born. They're made, and not just anywhere. They're made in special places by special qualified trainers in places like the Academy of Creative Coaching. The Academy of Creative Coaching is an international certification program with courses in health and wellness coaching, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and cultural competency coaching. Courses are online, hybrid, or face-to-face. The Academy of Creative Coaching is empowering coaches to empower the world. Make a positive change in yourself and the world. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com.
I am an American soldier. I'm a warrior and a member of a team.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always place mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined. Physically and mentally tough. Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army Strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. We are talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is it okay to be a side chick or a side dude? My guests have been awesome today. I have Audrey Champer and Pastor Andre Tate on the line from Florida and John Reid in the house. If you guys want to write your comments in the comment section, go ahead and we'll read them out loud. And if you are listening or tune in and you want to text a comment in or you just want to call in, it's 678-613-5857. Now, Audrey, you were talking about the work wife. You were you telling her she was nice looking because you wanted to encourage her. Then y'all went to lunch.
Right. We developed, I guess, a relationship at work the whole time, which I didn't realize at the time.
Right.
And this lady, it wasn't like she was trying to come on to me because she was not getting from her husband. And the husband, the husband was a
You're breaking up, Andre. Just a little. I don't know if you moved.
Okay.
Okay, now
can
we
you
hear
me now?
you. Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. Like I said, her husband was a pastor, and it started off real innocent, and like I said, I would tell her compliments, and she would thank me, and we started talking, and we went to lunch together, and then I realized that something started to change because I would get upset, and she was upset when we didn't go to lunch together, and now here I had the choice, either to continue this or I had to back up. And this time when I had to listen to God, the Holy Spirit.
You're breaking up again.
Because the Holy Spirit told me it's time for you to back off because you're getting too close.
Right.
And so I had to make the choice to move away. And like I said, I love my wife, and I still love my wife. However, if I would have not listened to reasoning, if I would have kept going, I probably would have failed.
Right.
And so, but I backed away because
you have to. I mean, you have a choice. It boils down to making choices. And one of our viewers, Petrula Scott, wrote, but at the end of the day, people are going to say what they feel they need to get where they are trying to get. So I don't believe in the unhappy theory. And I believe that, too, because they had some other things about, it just happened. I just fell into it. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. You just don't fall up in nobody's bed.
Exactly. Slip up on the banana peel.
You just don't do it.
It wasn't by accident.
It wasn't by accident. You know, and then people are like, oh, it started out as just a friendship. Let me tell y'all something. You know what you're doing, especially if you're attracted to him. Because I'm going to tell you, it's amazing to me how I will get people that inbox me. And I say this all the time. And they were like, oh, you're beautiful. I think you're great, especially since I've been doing this show. You make it hard for a brother to stay right. Let me tell y'all something right now. I don't do side nothing. I don't do side anything. And and some people may take this as me being arrogant or whatever. I'm validated every day I wake up.
Right.
Every time I take that first breath, God has already validated me. So women that are out there or men are out there, and those lines kill me. Yeah, you know, I saw your picture and my heart dropped. Well, pick it back up because you know, because that was first of all, I'm mad you tried me with that.
Right.
You know what I'm
He's fishing. You know what guys do? Guys are hunters, right? All guys are hunters, and he's fishing right now, right? He's throwing the bait out to see if you're gonna take it.
Oh yeah, like the one that said, "Hey, I'm into side chicks, and I just want." First of all, I was thrown off because he asked me if I wanted to be a side chick. I didn't know how to take that. You know, I was feeling some type of way. You know, and I talked to a couple of my male friends and said, this food, and he was like, yo, calm down. You know, it's normal. And I'm like, normal? And then as I started listening and started getting comments, it was just like, really? Okay, I need y'all to cut it out. But it's crazy to me how people are getting married, they're swinging, and I don't know what this open relationship thing is. I don't know what that is. Because why you open and swinging? Why you doing that? Why did you get married in the first place?
Because the openness, it gives them the justification to stay in bondage of whatever it is that they haven't dealt with. That's what that openness is about.
It's too hard. It's too hard to be together.
The openness is about. It's about people not wanting to deal with the issues that they have.
Right.
That's what that openness is about.
And you know, also
they're not happy in that openness.
Right.
They're not
not.
happy.
They're not. What were you gonna say, John?
I was gonna say, you know, cheating is not new, right?
No.
But what's happening is, but with the advent of the internet and social media now, people have more opportunities, right?
It's easier
to cheat, right? You can hit somebody's inbox, and next thing you know, you're in somebody's bed. I mean, and that doesn't mean that. I think it's more prevalent now than it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, well, social media itself has opened up this door that it just allows a whole lot of nonsense that's coming in. And then guys, I had one guy say to me, you know, I love my wife, but you know, she ain't having oral sex with me, and I need it. And I was like, so let me ask you a question: if you don't get it, are you going to die?
Right.
He was like, no. I said, you're gonna lose your job. Something gonna happen dramatic to you, no. And I said, so you don't need it. It's a want, it's a desire, so you're being selfish.
Exactly.
And my question to him was, well, does she do that to you when y'all were dating? Oh, no. Well, what made you think she was gonna do it when y'all got married? Right. You know, so these are the kind of things that guys come at you with, and it's just like, really? I don't even understand what you're talking about right now. But they think, you know, cheating is a badge of honor. And I want you guys to stop that. But don't go anywhere. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
From the University of Alabama, the Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl, then prison. The remarkable story of Sherman Williams that you must read to believe. Crimson Cowboy, Peace Between the Lines, is the incredible journey of an NFL star continued road to redemption. You must get this book now at crimsoncowboy.com. crimsoncowboy.com.
Sensation Station Network.
Break yourself, fool! Great leaders aren't born. They're made. And not just anywhere. They're made in special places by special qualified trainers in places like the Academy of Creative Coaching. The Academy of Creative Coaching is an international certification program with courses in health and wellness coaching, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and cultural competency coaching. Courses are online, hybrid, or face-to-face. The Academy of Creative Coaching is empowering coaches to empower the world. Make a positive change in yourself and the world. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com, and let Truisms help you to the next level.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win a Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He'd guide us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
Up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G, and my co-host, Santrell G, are here talking with you about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. My guests are Pastor Andre Tate and Audrey and John Reid. If you guys are listening to us on Facebook and want to comment, type your comment in the comment section and we'll get back with you. If you are listening on TuneIn or you just want to call in or text a comment, it's 678-613-5857. You know, just before the break, we were talking about men and the different lines they have. Well, I just want to let y'all know women got game too, because I read in the statistic that 34% of the women who cheat said they're very happy in their marriages. Not. And then the biggest thing that got me, they said they don't feel emotionally connected to their men anymore, or they don't feel attractive to their men. Here is the thing that worked my last nerve when I read this one about women and why they cheat. My husband is a workaholic. I want y'all to marinate on that for a minute.
That's a bad thing, right?
Listen, if you're a stay-at-home mom, and you want the finer things in life, because I'm going to be the first woman to admit it. Some of us are trifling that we have to have the Gucci. We got to have the Coach. We got to have the expensive car. We got to keep up with Joan, Mary, and Kim.
Right.
You know, and then we got our husbands out there doing the whole thing, you know, for themselves. And we're so materialistic.
Right.
We don't even understand that this man is out here breaking his back so you can have all those finer things. So this workaholic excuse that you use is really working my last nerve. And I'm really upset about that, as y'all can tell. So I'm going to start with Andre first. Have you had women say, oh, I cheat because my husband worked too much, or he's never home? What would you say to a woman that says that?
Well, a lot of times we look for the easy way out. We don't want to communicate, and that's one of the things that I stress, that we really need to take the mask off and be transparent.
Right.
And if you have a particular issue, let's discuss this issue. Let's talk about it. And that's the key thing. Even when you marry somebody, you're talking. The key thing you said is all about communication.
Communication,
And,
communication.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so, no, I don't buy that because once again, you're looking for an easy way out.
Right.
And we don't want to put in the work. We don't want to put in the
Nobody
time.
wants to
And
work.
you look at,
It's quick.
Exactly.
Quick.
And, right. We like the what they call it, the microwave. We want it right here and now.
Right now. Give about 1 or 2 minutes and we good.
Absolutely.
So, John, let me ask you something. What do you think about that when women say, "Oh, he works too much. That's why I cheated"?
It's an excuse. It's bottom line. It's just an excuse. And if we want to do something, we're gonna find a way to get it done, right?
That's right.
If we want to cheat, we're gonna find a way to get it done.
Right.
Like with some of the comments before, is that it's harder to work on your marriage versus just going and taking a step out.
Even it's not even marriage; it's relationships too.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So for my ladies, and Audrey, I'm gonna ask you this one because we are on the hot seat right now, especially with this workaholic thing. I hear a lot of ladies say, "This man got to have money. He got to have this. He got to buy me this. He got to." I see something wrong with that statement every time I hear it. What do you think about that? I mean, because I know, and I respect something that you said earlier. You were the side chick, but he wasn't getting off scot-free. He was going to pay something. I mean, and I'm like this. If you're going to spend your time with somebody that you can't have 100, he needs to be 100 to you. So what would you say to women who are out there with that mentality saying, "Hey, I got to do this way"?
Well, I honestly think that when women, first off, when they're materialistic like that, that is something that is ingrained inside of them. So it doesn't really matter how much money the man makes because she's never going to be satisfied.
Yep.
She's never going to be satisfied because that is a urge that's inside of her that needs to be dealt with. That means that she has no self-control.
Wow.
And then it also goes into that imagery. I heard you saying about the women want the coach and the name brand and all of that and stuff. That also has something to do with how she feels about herself.
Right. Now, I have to laugh about that because, my youngest daughter is a fashion designer, and people say to me that I should know the fashion stuff. I couldn't tell you a Jimmy Choo from a choo-choo shoe. You understand what I'm saying? I'm one of those, if it look good, it's nice, it could be $5, $10, $20. I'm getting it, because I'm going to rock it no matter what it is, but I don't like my change. Right. I don't like my change hitting me in the back. I really don't. I need my money.
What people have to understand. They have to understand that it's not the clothes that make the man or the woman. It's the woman or the man that makes the clothes.
Exactly.
So for me, I'm not giving Michael Kors and them people my money. They don't help me do nothing.
No,
they don't.
Be broke.
They don't deserve my hard-earned money.
It's social media pressure. It's pressure. It's girlfriend pressure.
It's real cute. It's real cute to have a Michael Kors purse, but you got an empty wallet.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But you look good though. You look good.
My favorite is I had this one girl she was talking about, and I was listening to her talk, and she was like, "Oh, he got to have a Mercedes. He got to have this and this and this and that."
Lord.
And she driving a Hyundai, and I was like, "Really?"
A budget.
I said, "Wait, why? You don't even have that stuff, so he got to have it. Girl, gone."
Yeah.
Hey, I had a friend.
But that goes back to. I guarantee you, the women who think like that, they daddies gave them everything.
Yeah. I had a friend.
And I guarantee you that.
I had a friend that was a workaholic, and his wife, was a stay-at-home mom, and he started cheating because he said it was never enough. He's killing himself. They get paying for 2 cars, the home. She doesn't work. So then his excuse was, "Hey, I'm never good enough. It's not enough." So he started looking for somebody that gave him validation that, hey, he's a man. He's doing what he's supposed to do right. And so that was his excuse for cheating.
Wow. Central, the comments that Ted Beer has, before you go, Audrey, I wanted to read out what he wrote out here. Do you have him up, Central?
I do. Ted Bear is one of our favorite listeners, and I love what he said. He said, "I was blessed to be a one-piece." He doesn't need a two-piece, meaning he does not need to have some money on the side. He said, unless he'll be with his other half to complete this life. He said, truth, honesty, compassion, companionship, and trustworthy. That is the way his mother raised he and his brother.
Yep, he also said on here, he said, okay, 100% genuine, keep it real. You're going to always get negative output from those living in deception life. This ain't no game. Life is real special when you're trying to have a union. But that's the one thing, I lost my thought.
Where his mom taught him not to disrespect another man messing with his wife or girlfriend.
Yes. You have to respect that. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Oh.
I am an American soldier. I'm a warrior and a member of a team.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always place this first. I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
Enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Major key alert. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. Football stadium. I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, and father of 5. I'm also an expert on drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids, and there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
And lead the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
The dream of the future, brought to reality by
Sensation Station Network.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. This is the part of the show that we send out prayer requests for people that have that are out there going through some things right now. I have Philip Conway. His Aunt Diane is battling cancer right now, and he's asking for prayer for there. And then our very own Barry Gibson from Game Changers. He's a huge Cowboys fan. His mother passed away on November 26th, so we offer our condolences to you. We also have some part of my DC family. That's Cowboy family, Rocky and Candy DeAnata. Their mother, Margarita DeAnata, is on life support in Texas, so you guys send prayers out to them. Cowboy fan Leslie Smith is in the hospital fighting cancer. It turned for the worse. Benny West, he was also a big, he's not a Cowboy fan, but he's from New York, and he does a lot of publications. His sister is on life support. Laverne Rogers is in ICU, I'm sorry. And then we have Brian White of Waco, Texas, who had heart surgery on the 27th. Anthony Johnson is in the hospital, his kidney transplant. Calextro Guadalupe Duarte, pray for him that he feels better. Pray for my parents. My father just got out of the hospital, and my mom was there in the hospital with him. She fell, so they're both struggling right now. You guys pray for them. And then my chief hard hitter, C.J. McGee, you guys pray for him. And then Sonny Gonzalez and Arthur Games Mangle, of who's also kidney transplant failed. But I have a special request, guys. This young man is Malik Woods. He's 16 years old, and his mom put out there he's going through depression and fighting a lot of things, and he needs all the help and support he can get. And I would like for you guys to please pray for him that, he can make it through this tough times. And I just want Malik to know that you are worthy. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. And like I said, your smile can save someone's life. So don't ever think that you're not counted. And to everybody out there that's going through some things right now, we are praying for you. We are out there building you up and want to let you know, Destiny Talk team and staff and guests, we're here for you. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Great leaders aren't born, they're made. And not just anywhere. They're made in special places by special qualified trainers in places like the Academy of Creative Coaching. The Academy of Creative Coaching is an international certification program with courses in health and wellness coaching, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and cultural competency coaching. Courses are online, hybrid, or face-to-face. The Academy of Creative Coaching is empowering coaches to empower the world. Make a positive change in yourself and the world. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. This is where we wish everybody a happy birthday who's out there celebrating. I want to say to my nephew, Michael Henderson Jr., happy birthday, young man. Eddie Boy, that's my hard hitter, number 29, happy birthday. Edward, who was on our show 2 weeks ago, his father's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Hard hitter, Fat Cat, happy birthday. David Branscombe of the Beard Game, who turned 50. Happy birthday. Larry Stevens, happy birthday. Cedric Golden, a homeboy, happy birthday. Kavaris Dorsey from Tacoma, Washington. Missy Lynn from St. Albans, West Virginia. William Williams from Pequot, Ohio. Paul S., and I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm just going to say C, from Florence, New Jersey. Ethan Karan from North Baltimore, Ohio. Steve Muldrow from Philadelphia. I want to give a big happy birthday out there to my son-in-law, Thomas. We call him Pickles Job. Happy birthday, young man. Naomi Campbell, a happy birthday. Anthony Collins, who's a Cowboy fan, happy birthday. Vicki Wilson Thompson, happy birthday. I know you guys are first and the second, but I want to get it in there. Richie Rich, happy birthday. I want to give a big shout out to Cooks, her mother-in-law, Eliva, and her niece Daylin are having birthdays. Happy birthday to you. Congrats to Marvy Moore on 10 years at AT&T. And also to my son-in-law's brother who's getting married this weekend, Rodrigo Cuervo and Caitlin Todd. Happy congratulations on your union. I'm really happy for that. So we've been talking a lot, guys, about some real serious stuff. And we've been sitting around, trying to hash this cheating and doing different things, and people being disruptive. And Audrey, you have such a powerful story, and I want to tell you and encourage you. Women, even men can learn from you. Absolutely. What you have to share can probably help stop a lot of this nonsense that's going on. And Andre, your transparency is just amazing because, a lot of pastors won't admit that I have a flaw or I had a flaw, and then, John, you shared, hey, look, this is what it is. And I did this. All of us have done stuff in our lives that we're not happy about, but that doesn't mean we need to keep going on. Now, I'm going to have a question for you, and I'm going to ask each of you this question and give you guys time to a few minutes, if you could do it like in a minute or so to sum it up so we could get everybody's opinion. Andre, you first. Out there, what would you offer our men, women, and family, children and stuff that are affected by parents who are, that cheated on their spouses and mothers or whatever that they know about, or people who have disruptive behavior? What kind of encouragement or things would you give them?
Well, first of all, I definitely would encourage them to get some type of counseling. I'm a believer, and I really believe that God can change the situation around. He's a God of the impossible. So nothing that a person been through, Jesus, he understands everything that we've been through, that what we're going through, and I just would encourage them to really lean on him and kind of just change what we do on a daily basis. Toxic thoughts, those things that we allow
what would you give to advice to a young lady that's kind of met your situation, or has been in your situation, or someone that is thinking that it's okay for me to continue to be a side chick? I don't need to do any better. What kind of encouragement or advice would you give them? Could you hear me, Audrey? I think I lost her. Okay. We'll come back to Audrey. John, what would you offer a young man that's out there that's trying to find an excuse or find a way to do whatever they want to do?
I would say initially consider the consequences, right? And the consequences mean, is this decision I'm going to make affect those around me that I really love? And if you answer it will affect them if they find out, then this decision is then they'll do it, right? And it's not that simple because we all fail. But ask yourself, do I really want to mess up my family relationship by going out and being a cheater, right? How is it going to affect my family at the end of the day?
Right. You know, a lot of people won't ask that. And before I move forward, Sharon, I also, we have a person that wrote in that's been listening, and Sharon has been great today. She says, I'm a Cowboy fan as well. I would like for prayers to go out for my mother who is in hospice. And you guys, Sharon, we're going to send out a prayer request for that. And you guys, please keep her on your list too. Now, Central, we talked about a lot of stuff too. Yeah. And it's been mind-blowing to me because I really didn't know what to expect on our conversations today. And I love the transparency of our guests. Absolutely. And just, you know, now they're in the driver's seat. And we're riding as passengers. But I love it though because I'm getting this information from people that I respect. Right. You know, because you guys you're in positions that, you know,
hey, a lot of people fail.
And Andre, I have to really say to you though, because I've known y'all, this is my ride and die. He's the first person I met when my family moved to the States, into Tangelo Park. And Andre, I'm gonna tell this story about you too. So how we met was we were racing in the street, and he told me couldn't no girl beat him, but I beat him. He says he don't remember it, but I smoked him on that street.
He's got selective memory now.
He got selective memory. It's okay though. I still love you. But I always tell people he has been my rock solid. You know, I told him this. We had lost contact for a while because I had married, moved on, whatever. And I was going through a lot of things when I was younger. And every time I got to that destructive behavior, he would come around with this big old grin on his face. And then he brought me from darkness, and he never knew that. And I told him when we reconnected, I said, you just don't know how many times you saved my life.
Right.
You know, I said, you are truly my ride and die.
That's good.
Ride and die. I don't care where our distance was. I know his wife. We all went to school together. She's amazing. Love her to death. And it's like, he's family. And I asked him to be here because I know his position. I know the things that he's been through in life. He truly understands what I've been through in life. And that he's come here and he's talked about, hey, I'm not 100%.
Right.
I'm not, but this is what I like to do. And we've had these deep conversations that, okay, Andre, because he knows he's talked me off the ledge a couple of times. You know, because I was there, you know, like, man, he was like, look, girl, look.
Right. Hold up now.
Hold up now.
Right.
Let me help you with this.
Yep.
But, Andre, you being in the position that you were in, I know the weight that you must get, and I know how hard it is to stay focused. What do you have to say to people, one, that are in the ministry, and two, people, again, who don't have a spiritual faith, on how to stay on the straight and narrow? What would you say to them?
Well, one of the things, like I said, I have and I appreciate you. You have really helped me as well as I helped you, but you really blessed me also. And you are my ride or die buddy. I greatly appreciate you. You know, one of the things I surrounded myself. You talk about environment. I surrounded myself by people that affirm me, people that encourage me, people that keep it real, but don't look at me and judge me if I go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. And they don't say, how could you go through that? But they say, okay, I'm there with you. I'm there for you.
Right.
I'm going to help pull you up. But I'm not going to make excuses for you to fall down, but I'm going to do everything I can do to help you. And I just uplift them.
Right.
And so that's basically one of the things.
And it's like that. What's the saying? Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
So if I'm at work and I'm cheating, and my homeboy is like, "Man, you get some of that last night," and he know you cheating. Maybe not. Well, you don't want that to be in your circle. Right. If you surround yourself with positive people, the other brother can say, "Hey, man, listen, I don't think that's right, man.
Right.
Do you really know what you're doing?"
Right.
So he made a valid point. Surround yourself with people that are going to be positive and keep you on the straight and narrow.
Right. And when we come back, I'm going to see if Audrey's back on the line. You're listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
Now we come to the special feature of our program.
Sensation Station Network.
When it comes to saving money, don't act like a baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Be the boss and make a budget.
I'm the boss, baby.
You're not the boss of me.
I am the boss of you.
Are not.
M2.
Are not.
M2.
Need a little help?
Aren't you going to do any work?
I'm very busy delegating.
Create a personalized savings plan.
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
And get other tools and tips at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win the Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He guides us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Sensation Station Network.
See ya.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. Today we are talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is being a side chick or a side dude okay? We lost Audrey on the call, but I do want to say thank you so much, Audrey, for calling in and sharing your story. It's not over. We got a lot of work to do, young ladies, so you'll be hearing from me. We've got still Pastor Tate on the line as well as John in the studios. And we're talking about this disruptive behavior of cheating on your spouses. We all make excuses. We all find ways to make things look good for us. I want to tell everybody, you don't fall into anything. It just doesn't happen, or I didn't do that. And you got to understand, if you have children involved, the repercussions that these kids face, because guess what? They're confused now. They're conflicted. You said, John, when you cheated, it hurt your family. I mean, what were some of the things that your kids talked about that, were they like, Dad, why? Or
we didn't tell them because they were real, real young.
Okay.
I was in my 20s, so my daughter was only like 2 years old at the time. But it affected going forward, because now my wife, who forgave me, never forgot. And so the way that she treated me wasn't as loving as it would have been had I not cheated. So then my kids, as they get older, were wondering, like, dang, why is Mom, talking to Dad like that? Why is she treating him like that? It was because of something that I did.
Right.
So, and not until they got older did I, talk to my son, like, listen, this is what you don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at least you were transparent and taught. Now, I tell people, that if you accept your spouse back that you cheated, cheated on you, you can never bring it back up.
Yeah.
Once you say, I forgive you, you got to absolutely forgive them. That don't mean you're going to forget, but you got to work at it. And Andre, what would you say to that?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree, because the thing about it, like my brother John was saying, his wife, she forgave, but she never forgot about it. And when we do that, it's like like you said, we treat the other spouse a certain way, and it's like we really didn't forget it, and we continue to punish them, and we think about it. And so it's like, I totally agree with you. If you gonna forgive me for doing something, okay, forgive me, and now let's move on from there. And sometimes we got to have some type of precaution to make her feel comfortable.
Right.
And I'm not gonna go out there and do it again. So if it takes, hey, I need you to call me every day at this time, or I need you to let me know where you're going. And to some degree, we have to, because we made the mistake, we have to give in to that so we can start to have a sore, so that sore can be healed again.
Right.
So I got to do whatever it takes to do it. But once, like you said, I've forgiven you, now let's move forward, and let's not bring it up again.
And in my situation, we went to counseling after that.
I was gonna say,
and then
yeah.
after counseling, they brought that up also. But I'm telling you, that year, that first year afterward, it was hell. Because, I mean, everywhere I went, she still had it in her mind that I'm still cheating. In fact, I took a job in Florida to get away from, even seeing the person that I had the affair with. But when we got to Florida, everything I'm doing, I'm on the straight and narrow. I'm calling, I'm checking in, places I'm going, I'm making sure that she knows where I'm at. But that first year or two, it was all hell. She never let me forget it.
Let me tell. I would like to say too, because when we're speaking from a person who was cheated on, and because I was involved with a gentleman, and I'm gonna use that old country phrase. I loved his dirty draws. Okay, man, it wasn't nothing I was gonna do with this fool for this fool, and we were together 5 years, and I found out he was married, and he had me and 4 others.
Wow.
Yeah, it was rough. And that tore me down. And I became Destructicon. And what I mean by that, every dude that came up after him after that, they caught it. I mean, caught it 10 times plus. And what I realized was I wasn't just wrecking up them, I was still torturing myself. Because I had to, and I stepped away from dating and everything for a good while, because I ran up into one young man that was really great, awesome guy. And I had to tell him, you know what? You need somebody better, because I'm toe up. I need you to go on. And that was a hard thing to do, but I had to realize that I was carrying some mess. You guys are listening to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G.
I am an American soldier.
I'm a warrior and a member of a team.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always place this first. I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
Sensation Station Network.
Say about that. Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win a Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He'd guide us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
A dream of the future brought to reality by
Sensation Station Network.
Welcome back to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. Today has been an awesome show. We were talking about what happened to the sanctity of marriage. Is a side chick okay or a side dude? Now, Andre, I want you to please tell people who you are, how they can reach out to you, and give them a little quick synopsis for you, of you.
Okay, my name is Andre Tate. I'm associate pastor at Church on the Living Edge, and I teach a life skill class at one of the Seminole County jails. And if you can reach out to me, my email address is Tate662002 at yahoo.com. And I just want to thank you so much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it, and I'm just honored to be here.
I really appreciate you doing it for me. Thank you, John.
All right, my name is John Reid. My company is called Alan Reid Enterprises, and you can go to www.alanreidenterprises.com. We're a management consulting firm, and what we do is project management, professional development training, auditing, financial, and some real estate. And also let me piggyback and say thank you to Jerry for inviting me. I call her my Jerry, and I've been saying that for about 9 years now. So I appreciate you bringing me on.
Oh, no.
And also go to my Facebook page. I have a Facebook business page called Alan Reid Enterprises.
And I want to give a quick shout out to Simply Taylor. It is a new children's line that is launching out on December 9th. You guys follow them on Facebook, Simply Taylor Kids, or on Instagram, simply.taylor.kids. It is a clothing apparel company with old world elegance with contemporary streetwear. You guys, it is limited edition. And what I mean by that is the limited qualities. You know, you only get one or two. Once it's sold out, it's sold. So if you want your kids to be hip and into that, go ahead and bring it on in there. Now, I want to go back to talking about something, and Sharon Gilbert said, it took me a long time to heal and build up self-esteem and even consider dating after I left my husband. And that is true. It does. And I really appreciate the fact that you're saying that, because that's what I was saying before. I had to step away from trying to be in relationships or being a part of stuff because I had to forgive myself.
That's right.
I had to get myself together, because how could I ask someone to love me if I didn't love me, or I didn't even know how to do that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And coming back from being cheated on or cheating, cheating, it's tough.
Right. Yeah.
It's really tough. So, John, you said you took yourself out and said, hey, I got to get mature. I got to do some things. I got to make this right. Yep. Andre said he had to go and pray about it and be like, look, Lord, I need you to help me get through some different things. Now let's talk to our people who aren't spiritually sound. Andre, for you, if they're not spiritually sound, what advice would you give somebody?
Well, I go back to, like I said, I teach a life skill class at the jail, and we deal with we want to get to the root of the problem, not the fruit of the problem. And the root of the problem is how you think, what you say. But the key thing is your thoughts are everything. And we deal with the conscious and subconscious mind. And I just encourage them, this thing is called neuroplasticity. And that deals with, it lets you know that you can rewire your mind. You can rewire your brain. You can reprogram yourself. And so I would encourage them to get books, positive books, listen to positive people, uplifting people, life coaches. I encourage them to listen to those people that have positive things to say and how your body really works. And I would encourage them to do that and try to get away from listening to, watching a lot of toxic things that totally go against
what you're trying to get away from. Right.
Exactly.
And John, what about you?
I told my son these 9 words, and I told him these should stick with you. And he suppose somebody doesn't have a moral compass, but the choices you make can make or break you. So it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. Remember that the choices you make can affect you, your family, that person that you have put this on. So just make a wise decision, and don't think that it won't break you. So I told my son to keep that in your mind for everything.
That's some great advice, because our young man Edward that was on the show
Yeah.
said the same thing. He
That's
said
right.
he listens to positive affirmations an hour every morning. He said he had to totally take himself out of the environment. And Sharon, thank you so much for watching us. We really appreciate you joining in. She said nice show and topic, and thanks John Reid.
That's my
for the
homegirl.
invite.
That's my girl right there.
Now, Centrell, this has been a mind-boggling show. You and I have been discussing this for what, about a month?
We have. We have.
And we were both trying to figure out how can we bring this topic to this show without it going left or sideways. And I really do appreciate my guests and my listeners, everybody that's chimed in for you guys keeping it, professional and keeping it to where people can learn something and we all can benefit from what's happening here.
Because that's what the objective is. It's to learn something. It's to help you be a better version of yourself. And just like Andre said, it is so important that we get to the origin of it. What is the root of the behavior? You got to deal. It all reaches back to you. Understanding who you are so that you can understand why your behavior is what it is so that you can move forward.
Andre, I want to thank you for calling in and being a part of the show. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And we'll be in touch because there's more that we've got to do to help get this thing rolling.
Well, I look forward to it. And like I said, I appreciate you. Thank you once again for inviting me.
You're welcome. You guys, you listen to Destiny Talk Live. I'm your host, Cherry G. Have a great weekend.